What's up guys, it's HDL, and in this video I'm going to show you how to do the entirety of Flying Battery with Tails. This is going to be both acts because you do need something from Act 1 in order to complete Act 2, and there are some differences here with Tails that you have to take into account that the other characters don't have to worry about. So the very start of it is going to look very similar to Sonic's method. What you're going to do here is you're going to come to this booster and you're going to crouch. You want to make sure you don't touch the booster at all. Just crouch and shift the screen all the way down. Once the screen is all the way down, you want to rev up, and then you want to release the rev on the very next frame. That sounds very precise because it is, so we use pause in order to verify this. If you use pause, you should see this. You'll see him enter the rev state, but the screen won't move up. If you see any shift in the screen, then it means that your pause was late. You can save it if that happens. Just unpause, touch the booster, and then jump so that you don't go up the slope. You can then come over here and try the setup again. So once you confirm that you've gotten this rev and the screen hasn't shifted up, you want to unpause and release, and then once you touch this booster, you want to hold down and roll on it before it sends you flying. And just keep holding that. You can let go of your inputs here. The setup is just going to work from this point on. And then once you come here, it's going to trigger the glitch. And you're still technically in a roll state, so holding forward doesn't really speed you up here at all, unless you jump and then use your air ability, which we will do here. So this metal cylinder here on the left, once it goes off screen, or is about to go off screen, we want to jump, and we want to fly over here with Tails and bump the ceiling. We're going to do that, and once Tails gets to roughly in this area, once he's aligned with these X's in the background, you can see his tails are like just underneath the top of that. Once he's aligned with that, we actually want to slow him down. We slow him down and just manage his movement so that we land here next to the lightning shield. And then we're going to roll into the lightning shield and then jump into the invincibility. And the reason we do this is because we'll actually ruin the bug we've set up by touching the edges of the monitor. If we just run straight into the monitor without rolling and you let the monitor stop your momentum, it ruins this whole setup. So doing this allows you to keep the bug that you've set while also maintaining forward movement. So we're just going to keep doing that. And then once we get to around here, you're going to see there's a ramp here. Once the flat ground is about to go off screen, you just do a nice quick low jump and you'll land here. Keep holding right. And what we want to do is we want to get inside this wall and start a spin dash. Now there are a few different places you can start a spin dash from. You can start it earlier from here, but the problem with starting it from here is that A, you're going to subject yourself to roll deceleration sooner, and B, there's a chance that you could get a straight jump and then fall down, and then you basically ruin the setup if you do that. If you come into the wall here and start your spin dash from in here, it's actually impossible to jump, so you cannot ruin the setup at all like that. And on top of that, you'll have minimal roll deceleration. So you want to get as fast of a spin dash as possible, and then once you're out of the wall, you want to jump and bump the ceiling so that you break out into a run state. You're not going to see it because the character's sprite is still bugged, but he's going to be in a run state, and he's going to maintain the speed that you have after that point. So he's not rolling anymore. So just keep holding right, go through all of this stuff. Now there's a new manipulation here with Tails. Only Tails has to do this. So once you come to right around here, you want to make sure that you don't touch the star post over here. So you come here, and before you touch anything here, you jump, and then right when you're above the star post, you can start your flight, and that's gonna position you perfectly to land straight onto the boss. Once you do that and you jump, you can just fly here, or you can move off to the side, however you want to do the boss. Losing the lightning shield does not matter. Taking a hit does not matter. Just make sure you do the boss correctly. And then on the 6th hit, you want to stand on the very edge, and then jump, land there, and just stay there until the boss finishes blowing up, and it's going to change the sprite here. And in doing that, it's going to give you the slope glitch. So you just come over here to the right and make sure you're facing right. So that's going to end Act 1. Once you start Act 2, you're going to be able to crouch and start a rev. You want to make sure you're absolutely in a rev state before the screen unlocks, because if you let the screen unlock first, you're going to enter your teeter animation instead of being able to crouch. So make sure you're already in a rev state by then. Try to get a fast spin dash. And then once you are roughly around here, you want to jump. I tend to use this bit here. Once I'm past it, I jump. In this attempt, I was a little bit later with the jump. But that's fine because there's quite a nice window of time there that you can do this. So you're going to jump, you're going to do a full jump, bump into this wall, and you're going to hold right. You're going to hold right and attach to this. Once you attach to this slope, you're going to gain the properties of this slope because of slope glitch. So you switch to holding left, and then right before you enter the floor here, you're going to stop holding left and release to neutral. So once you do that, pay attention to the visuals here. So this line where these windows are, you're going to look at that, and then right before the windows touch the left edge of the screen, you're going to switch to holding right in order to slow your movement down. That's going to put you around here. Then you switch to holding left and you'll get a zip. And you'll wind up in this area. Now, assuming you jumped over the star post and did the object manipulation correctly in Act 1, there's actually an object right here in this wall. It's an invisible barrier. That object is basically aligned with it has the same, it's using the same slot as the boss did when you got slope glitch. So the game thinks you're actually standing on top of an object because you're close to this thing. And it's going to let Tails stand in this area. Normally he would be teetering here and you wouldn't be able to stand. Assuming you did that manipulation correctly, you'll be able to get a spin dash here and do this part a little bit faster compared to having to just hold right and walk through that section. This is much faster, getting that spin dash. So once you get here, you can bump into this, and then jump and tap left a little bit because you want to make sure you land on roughly this part of the slope. You don't want to land here because the angle is too steep. So land here on this part and let him go all the way into the ground like that, and he's going to get a zip. Now from this part, you don't actually have to hold left to get a zip. The zip is going to be automatic. So you let that rock, and then once you see this wall about to go off screen, you can actually jump because you're already outside the wall. It's just the screen hasn't caught up, but you actually are already outside the wall. So once you see this about to touch the left edge of the screen, you can jump and hold right, and then do a flight. You want to fly to the right, and roughly in this area is where the trigger is. Basically, you need to reach a horizontal coordinate in order to trigger these walls to move. Once you trigger it, fly back to the left, and then do a series of jumps and flights here. You want to make sure that you do not stand on the floor for too long, because if you do, the floor will suck you up and it'll kill you. So you want to make sure that your jumps are very quick. So just make your way up here. You still have slope glitch at this point. So we want to get rid of it. And you can actually get rid of it by just holding right and jumping up against this monitor, and that'll get rid of slope glitch. Now, assuming you've done everything correctly up until this point, then roughly at around this time, you want to jump and fly, and there'll be a floor above you. Now, the floor is solid right now, but once it gets all the way to the top, you'll be able to fly through it. So you come here, and you want to move the screen to the right so that it locks. You want to lock the horizontal coordinate of the screen by moving to the right. Now, once this floor goes off screen, you want to jump and bump into it with a full jump. Then you want to jump again and then do a flight, and that timing is perfect for when the floor stops moving. Then you do the boss as normal, you jump. If you time this right, you can actually get 4 hits instead of 3. And then you do this fight as normal. Just in case you don't know, Robotnik is going to move 10 times before he swings up again. So he moves to the right once, and then he's going to move to the left 9 times. You can also use the actual floor. So assuming you did this correctly, he's going to be roughly around here. That's when you want to jump and come in here and roll. You get that hit, you want to slow yourself down, and then for the next hit you want to jump and hit him. And then for the remaining hits, you're just going to rev and do a spin dash. And that's it. That's how you do Flying Battery with Tails. That showcases basically everything you need to know for Act 1, the manipulation so you can get the spin dash in Act 2, and basically all of the Tails specific movement in Act 2 as well. Only he can do that strat because he's the only one with flight. So I hope you found this useful, and as always, if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me.